You're listening to Moving Business Forward Faster, a podcast by the United Nations Global Compact.
This is an infinitely solvable problem.
Convene businesses around a large, ambitious goal.
It's the right thing for our business. It's the right thing for society.
Moving business forward faster.
Forward Faster will help us all together as a community to drive progress on the Sustainable Development Goals. It's time to move forward faster.
Welcome. This is the Moving Business Forward Faster podcast, and I'm Adam Roy Gordon, Executive Director of UN Global Compact Network USA. Here we spotlight the intersection of business innovation and sustainability. Today, we're looking at businesses that are leading the way in sustainability initiatives. Join us as we explore these businesses who are not just part of the conversation, but are actively contributing to the solution. The urgency of addressing climate change has not been clear enough. That's why one of the 5 areas in the Forward Faster initiative is climate action. Governments alone cannot solve climate change. We need businesses, and we need everyone. There is no doubt that the private sector can accelerate climate action and make meaningful impact. Take, for example, the companies with approved targets through our Science-Based Targets Initiative, or SBTI. They are demonstrating significant progress. They are demonstrating leadership. They are reducing emissions twice as fast as required. Imagine if more companies did the same. To limit global warming to 1.5 degrees C, we must do more. The world must cut emissions in half by 2030. So why should businesses prioritize climate action? What impact can it have globally? With these questions in mind, we welcome Clara Arpa Adofra, founder of Arpa Change, a company that develops projects based on the generation and distribution of green hydrogen as a clean energy source. She's also CEO of Arpa, a Spanish-based company that designs, manufactures, sells, and deploys logistics field solutions. We're also joined by Ann Tracy, Chief Sustainability Officer of the Colgate-Palmolive Company. Ann is a board member of the Executive Committee at the UN Global Compact Network USA as well. Welcome, Clara and Ann.
Thank you so much, Alan.
Thank you, Adam.
So I'm going to start with a question for both of you. If you could just share the benefits of businesses taking action on climate change, and if you could introduce your company's actions on climate change in the process. So I'll start with you, Ann, and we'll move to you, Clara.
Okay, well, to take your first question, what is the benefit? So I think the way we think of climate change and the impact of climate change on our business is both from the lens of risk and opportunity. So if we think about, looking forward, both the physical risks and the transition risks, starting with risk. I mean, clearly in this day and age, resilience is something that major corporations have to be focused on. Not just resilience of our own operations, but all the suppliers where we source our materials and our packaging. So it's in our best interest to make sure that we halt this, terrible raise in temperature so that we reduce weather events and we don't have so many major issues with our supply chain. So that's clear. But then also, and I think this is where the opportunity comes in, on the transition side, sure, we have to be compliant with regulations and pay, fees and taxes, carbon. In our case, we pay a lot of EPR fees for plastic. But the reputational risk can be an opportunity if we stay ahead of it. If we stay 2 steps ahead, I think we can build trust with it. We're a consumer products company. We can build trust with the consumers. And being a step ahead, I think, will fare well in the future. So we do see it as an opportunity. And introducing products that have lower impact. We know consumers want to use those products. We can't blame the consumers. We have to help them, bring them along. So finally, just a little bit about our strategy. We have 3 pillars in our strategy. It's driving social impact, helping millions of homes, and preserving our environment. With 11 actions, over 50 targets, we have a specific action under Preserving Our Environment called Accelerating Action on Climate Change. And so that's where we have outlined our net zero commitment to become net zero carbon by 2040. And we've built a roadmap. And we do have approved targets, and we can talk more about that in a minute.
Agree. And well, really it's an opportunity. And in the short term, I imagine that all companies that are in advance have really an advantage. And in another point of view, our companies are in a good position in order to spread the knowledge about how is the meaning of the transition to a new energy. I think that customers are not really sometimes at the end conscious of the importance of being in another way using energy. That's why I think that business is really an opportunity in order to spread the knowledge that because the workers that are working in a company is the reflection of its society. And it's a very, very important point in order to have this education, this even the training to know how they can manage themselves in another way.
Perfect. Well, Claire, I'd like to continue with you and maybe take this in a slightly different direction. Since you're based in the EU, let's talk regulation.
Yeah.
So in this rapidly changing climate landscape, staying ahead of policy changes and regulations is crucial for businesses.
Yeah.
How can taking climate action help businesses stay one step ahead?
Well, I think that we have to have in our mind, this point of, we have to be brave in order to have no fear to take actions. And in my humble point of view, the regulation is pushing us in order to be a little bit ahead, But in the other hand, sometimes we have so many regulations, and sometimes are so many for the SMEs, because for example, my company is an SMEs. If for us is quite confusion. What is the priority of all these regulations, And in the other hand, I think that sometimes the innovation, the technology, is not as clear as must be in this step, because sometimes we have still doubting in order to adapt this technology or this other technology. But the regulation is there. In Europe, for example, we have so many regulations that we have to be quite clear, because could be it not an opportunity, could be more, an stopper.
Well, so, and you mentioned you're with an SME, you lead a small business. And so maybe you could tell us a little bit about how your business has effectively navigated and aligned with the larger climate policies, particularly in terms of emission reduction goals.
Yeah. Well, in our company, we are signatory of Global Compact and terms. We try. We were one of the first companies who had the initiative of Business Ambition 1.5, and we have also a program, the Accelerator Climate, in the organization that give us a very good opportunity, to learn how to do it. To learn how we have to be more accurate in our targets. That is really very important, because for an SME of any part of the world, it's not easy, this language that we use. Our vocabulary is not easy to really inner. And then we need this kind of programs, of organizations, in order to help you to know how to do it. For us, it's very, very, very important to follow and to be aligned with this kind of programs. Because not only, as I said, I am the CEO, I am the person who is pushing, but alone I can't do anything. I need the help of any single work, even if I can be also a leader for my supply chain. Could be great, but at the end, first, the most important are the people that is surrounding you.
Yeah.
Understand what you want to do.
True.
We're stronger together.
Yeah.
So let's talk about specific targets. And what should businesses aim for in terms of climate action? And how can they contribute to, in particular, a just transition?
So I think, let me start by saying Colgate's been doing this for a long time, actually, before the regulations even came in, started surfacing. We've been measuring greenhouse gas emission reduction, electricity and utility reduction since 2002. So we think that's a good thing for business. It's the right thing for our business. It's the right thing for society. Our mission is that we're a consumer goods company. We like to think of ourselves as a health-oriented company because we sell toothpaste, which helps your oral health, and products to keep you clean and germ-free, and so on and so forth. So our purpose is to reimagine a healthier future for all people, their pets, and their planet. We sell pet food too. So how, the just transition, so if you start with that purpose in mind, a healthier future for all people, we recognize the importance and the role we play in setting these targets to net zero. We want, as Clara said, we want all companies to come along in our value chain to set this, to set the net zero carbon targets. So we want to be a leader and we want to inspire, and only by doing that will we create this healthier future for people, which includes not just physical health, but financial health and mental health. So the just transition is bringing everyone along.
I love it.
That way.
So, and continuing with you, Colgate's long-standing commitment to climate action, which you mentioned, could you tell us more about some of the common challenges that Colgate's face, but also that businesses overall face in implementing climate actions, and, in your opinion, how they could overcome those challenges? Maybe some lessons from Colgate.
Yeah, there's certainly challenges. Let's not mistake that. I think at the core of it, there's, the data. The data has to be there. The data has to be accurate. The data has to be automated. Without data, you manage what you measure. So that's a challenge we've been trying to get ahead of, and putting new systems and tools in place that help us to do that more accurately and to help us track our net zero plan along the way. And again, bringing Clara, I'm going to reinforce Clara's point that you have to bring everybody along. So now engaging suppliers and sharing data with them, and likewise. So it's a challenge and an opportunity. Every challenge is an opportunity. And I think another one that Clara touched on is the education. So our employees are one of our most important stakeholders, helping them understand why this is important, and then what they can do in their own role, in their own function. And I like to say there's no function that doesn't play a role in this, from HR to IT to finance to legal to compliance, every role in the company, supply chain, of course, and so on and so forth. I didn't list every one of them, but they all play a role. So we have to educate our employees and help them to understand. And it's a challenge because it takes time, and everybody learns differently. But I would say those are two of the last challenge I'll mention. Again, being a consumer products company, is we sell our products to consumers, and we want them to use products that have a lower impact. But sometimes that means engaging with our products in a different way. So we just launched the recyclable toothpaste tube, the first. So now it may sound simple, but we want them to take their tube and put it in their recycling bin. Sounds very simple,
It
but
does.
you wouldn't believe. Or turn off the tap when you brush your teeth. Will save water and energy, greenhouse. We've been measuring, when we run campaigns, when people turn off the tap, how much energy we're saving. So these are little things that people can do in their daily lives, but they make a big difference. And consumers, and there's bigger changes we're going to be asking them to make, like use concentrated product that they dilute at home. That's an extra step in their process, right? So, but it's an amazing savings on plastic and carbon and shipping if you take the water out, right? So consumers, we call it the consumer intention action gap. They want to do the right thing, but they don't want to compromise on convenience, quality, and price. So we have to find a way to make products better somehow, so they can't resist not using them. We're beginning to start to figure that out, but that's a challenge.
I can imagine.
He's playing. You're right. Yeah, totally agree.
Well, and Colgate is looking into all these innovations because this is urgent. And so, Clara, wanted to get perspective from you on why is this urgent in terms of climate actions? Why is it urgent for business in particular?
Well, I think that you must believe it or not. That means if we are here and we are in this environment of the COP20, then you are surrounded with people that really believe in that. And then you have the sensation that everyone, the feeling that everyone is aligned. But sometimes when you put your feet outside this environment, then I realize that I meet people that thinks that this is a thing of others. And you must solve it for them. And this is what I mean, that if we try to be the future in order that the companies, because in our companies the people is working, are working, and that this is why I think is we have to focus on that, and I believe in that. I believe in the science, You
believe in facts?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think that all of us, we have to support the change, okay, and to do as best as possible. And it's not easy. It sounds very easy, but it's not easy. No. And it's so much of our mind, our commitment, in order to get that point.
Clara, what trends and developments are you following and do you foresee in climate action for businesses? Where businesses and CEOs have to look ahead.
Yeah.
What are you looking ahead towards with climate?
Well, I have not that
crystal ball. Yeah. None of us.
But I think in a near future we have going to see a very strong changes. I think that maybe it could be impossible in another way. Because really we have to give velocity, we have to speed to the change. And in a near future, I think that maybe we are now a little bit afraid about, I don't know if I take this one or this one,
Yeah.
I don't know if, hydrogen or batteries, I don't know if that. But I think that we have to give this step, because sometimes maybe it's not the right technology 100%, but maybe it's right technology at 50%. And this new technology at 50% gives us the step to put another step that maybe is at 70%, 75%, but this, I think that's the only way to move and to move faster.
So if I'm hearing you, we don't know who the winners and what the winners and losers are going to be, but we know that doing this business as usual will not be a winner.
We are all losers.
Yes.
That's
It's good. I think everybody's convinced of that. I heard a good phrase yesterday, uncertainty paralyzes decision making, but we have to push through that, right?
What we do,
Yeah.
I'm not sure 100% what to do, but I know 100%
You
I'm
have
sure
to
that
do.
I have to do.
Yeah. I
So
think, right.
this is it's like a minute of reflection that gives you the last input.
Yeah.
So I wanted to really ask the same question of you, Anne, but it's a slightly different framing because Colgate's been around a few years. How many exactly?
216, I think. We're the oldest consumer products company in the U.S.
So you've been through a few changes before.
Yeah.
And so looking forward, I presume you'd likely want to be around for another 200-something years.
That's
and
what
so,
we say.
Yeah.
So how do you what trends are you following? And does that time frame really change how Colgate is looking at these issues?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think what we're trying to kind of really embrace right now, maybe building a little bit on what I talked about before, is we know resilience is at the core of what we have to focus on going forward. We're a manufacturing and a marketing company, but we make all our own products, right? So what trends are we following is a great question because we do want to be around for 200 more years. And clearly, I mentioned the data. The digital transformation at the core has to be enabler for what we're doing. But I think the most important thing for us as a consumer products company is to continue to better understand the consumer, of course, and help them live more sustainably and healthier at home, and make sure that our products are doing that in an equitable way. So we want to reach all price points. We want our products to serve everyone. So how do we do that? By better understanding the consumer and following what they need, what they want, how we can help them.
Okay. And do you have any advice for companies listening to this conversation on how they can prepare for this truly evolving landscape of climate action?
Yeah, so the first word that pops in my mind is it's a journey, right? I mentioned we've been measuring this stuff for 20 years. But we talked about the benefits of being ahead and being proactive. But I do think in this world we want to the high tide rises all boats, or whatever the saying is. But we all need some standards to lean against. So one of the best standards related to climate is SBTI, Science-Based Targets Initiative.
Yeah.
And I actually think it's fascinating in this alphabet soup of all the different ISSB, ESRS, SEC, all these different TCFD, you name it, that science-based targets is rising up to be a truly accepted global standard for our net zero plans and targets. So I think companies need to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And that will help them to it keeps them focused in this broad array of issues that we're all dealing with that kind of are inextricably linked to climate, whether it's just or health or how are we going to finance all this stuff. We need to focus, and that's hard. Focus is key. So using standards helps you to focus.
And it ensures that we're all aligned on the same pathway.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so Clara, same question to you how can those listening here today and in their businesses prepare for a future of changing climate action and leadership?
Well, I think that the key is focus, like Anne has said, and learning. We have to learn what we have to do. And please be closer of this organization like Global Compact that is able to teaching us and give us the knowledge that we need in order to change things in the right way.
Perfect. And before we end our conversation today, just Clara, if there's any lasting message you'd like to leave with our listeners who are examining and setting their own climate-based targets.
I think that don't be afraid, okay? We have to be brave and positive. I really optimistic that we can do it, and we can do it, but all together.
I love it. And same question to you. Any final message you'd like to leave with our listeners?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we reach a lot of consumers. Our toothpaste is in 6 out of 10 households around the world. So if we can leverage that power, we feel responsible to educate and help consumers learn through our products. So how do we do that? And I think we now call consumers people. We don't call them consumers. And actually, I love that, because consume it's a bad word. I mean, we consume too much, right? So if we can help people, and I heard Paul Pullman speak yesterday, he calls them citizens, which I like a lot too, just become more aware and learn that every little action they take, even though it may feel overwhelming and they won't make a difference, it will make a difference. So our goal is to, provide them with products to help them do that and enable them. So
I love it. So, and Clara, I want to thank you so much. What I'm hearing from this conversation is be brave, be optimistic, lean into standards, promote awareness with everyone you work with, and that little actions done together can have a really big impact. And that's exactly what we need right now. So I'd like to thank you for joining us today. Thank our listeners for joining us on Moving Business Forward Faster. Join us again for more discussions on pressing issues shaping our world. Until next time, take care and take action.
Thank you for listening to Moving Business Forward Faster, a podcast by the United Nations Global Compact. To learn more about Forward Faster, visit forwardfaster.unglobalcompact.org.